Okay, everyone. I'm here to start a very special series of videos called The Slams of May. Now, how this series is going to work is very simple. Every wrestling review in this series is going to be a pay-per-view that took place in the month of May from the WWE or WCW. I am not a fan of the original ECW, so me personally, I'm not going to give you an ECW review unless it's December 2006. I might do that. As far as why I never reviewed Backlash Thursday, last Thursday, from Backlash on 6 last Thursday, I got busy and didn't get the chance to watch it on W Network, and I don't own it on DVD. So I will watch it, and I will upload it at some point before the end of the year. So we're going to kick off the month of May, of these Slams of May, with Slamboree 1993, the very first Slamboree event. WCW tried a new concept here. This was Slamboree, a Legends reunion, where you brought back a lot of legends, and you had 3 legend matches here, which probably in hindsight wasn't the best idea. But there are 10 matches on this show. So there are 10 matches on this show, so the total maximum stars will be 50. This event took place on May the 22nd, 1993, at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia, one of WCW's most frequently visited arenas, because a lot of pay-per-views in the late 80s, early 90s took place in Atlanta's Omni. So it's a fairly historic arena. Our opening contest is a random, kind of a random tag match, as it's Beautiful Bobby and Chris Benoit versus Too Cold Scorpio and Marcus Alexander Bagwell. Benoit just come to WCW from Japan. So he's on Slamboree 3, which is not going to... He's on Super Brawl 3, which took place in February, so it's not going to be included here. The first, I think, Super Brawl did take place in May, so that one will be. But anyway, Benoit and Scorpio had a match on that show. This is a typical tag match. It's nothing special. Too Cold, Scorpio and Bagwell get the win, 2 stars. Our next match really isn't a match because it's a 35-second squash match. It's Van Hammer, Heavy Metal Van Hammer, who nobody remembers, despite being in WCW from 1991 to like 2000, I believe, or something like that. Heavy Metal Van Hammer versus Sid Vicious, making his return to WCW. This match lasted all of 35 seconds. Sid won with a powerbomb, and he was managed by Colonel Parker. So, no stars. So then we get our first of 3 Legends matches. A Legend 6-man tag, and you talk about random. Oh, this is random. On one side, you have Dick Murdoch, Don Muraco, and Jimmy Snuka, of all people. Now, did the people organizing this event even realize that Don Muraco and Jimmy Snuka had a bloody rivalry 10 years earlier in 1983, including an epic cage match at Madison Square Garden where Jimmy Snuka jumped off the top of a cage on top of Don Muraco? Now, I get that Snuka was a heel for a long time before he came to the WWE, but it's just ironic. And then the next team has an ironic pairing too, as it's Wahoo, McDaniel, Blackjack, Mulligan, Jumpin, Jim Bronzell are their opponents. So you're taking Blackjack Mulligan, a guy from Texas, and you're teaming him with a guy from Oklahoma, and you're teaming a cowboy and an Indian together. This is random. I will tell you this. This is randomness. And it's a 1-star match. Now keep this in mind. I'm not going to be overly critical on these Legend matches because, quite frankly, these are guys who are past their prime, who are basically there for a nostalgia little thing for the fans. So I think this match is a half a star in a match, but I'm giving it an extra half a star for Dick Murdoch doing a flying head scissors. Yeah, Dick Murdoch doing a flying head scissors. Also, this match doesn't even have a clean finish. No one wins. It goes to a double disqualification, or it's thrown out, so to speak. 1 star. So then we get the Legends Tag Match. Ivan Koloff and Baron von Raschke. So a Russian and a German. Well, that makes sense. Although, kinda no. Because Germany and Italy were partners during World War II, so it would have made more sense to find an Italian to put with Koloff, but whatever. Anyway, they're getting on Thunderbolt Patterson, and Brad Armstrong is filling in for his dad, Bob Armstrong. This is a 1-star tag match, nothing special. Brad Armstrong, Thunderbolt Patterson get the win, and it's kind of ironic that out of these 4 guys, Brad Armstrong's the one that's actually dead now. Think about that. Brad Armstrong's the guy in this match who's dead. Everyone else in this match is still alive. So then we get the single Legends match. Dory Funk Jr. versus Nick Bockwinkel. Now here's something interesting. Dory Funk Jr.'s second in this match is Gene Kinski, who Dory Funk Jr. defeated for an NWA World Title. And of all the people to be seconding Nick Bockwinkel, Verne Gagne is the guy that's seconding Nick Bockwinkel. Now, I know that Nick Bockwinkel and Verne Gagne were kind of business partners and all this, but they had a very storied rivalry through most of the AWA's existence until Verne Gagne retired. So, this is like the definition of let's just see what sticks, so to speak. I'll say this, and this match gets 3 stars because for 2 guys at their age, these 2 guys go 15 minutes, go to the full 15-minute time limit draw. It's a boring match, but it's not bad, but it is really boring. So then we get more randomness, as it's Dustin Rhodes and Kensuke Sasaki versus Ravishing Recruit and Paul Orndorff. Now, I understand at least why Rhodes and Rude are in this match, because Rhodes and Rude actually had a rivalry going on with each other during this time. They would have an Iron Man match at Beach Blast, which I might review in July. Beach Blast / Bash to the Beach, because they essentially were the same thing. As more retro reviews to kill time between my, at the space between my Great American Bash series and my SummerSlam review series. But Sasaki makes no sense. His tag team partner is Road Warrior Hawk at this time over in Japan. Sasaki also doesn't speak a lot of English, so why he's teaming with Dustin Rhodes I'll never know. But Rude and Orndorff win. When Orndorff knocks Sasaki off the top rope, Rude hits the Rude Awakening and gets the win. So then we get a bounty match, and in Survivor Series 1992, the Big Boss Man had to work with nails. And God rest his soul, I feel so sorry for him having to do that. I feel even sorrier for Sting at this pay-per-view having to do it. Now, to be fair, it was not supposed to be Nails or the Prisoner, as he's known as here. It was supposed to be Scott Norton, but Scott Norton didn't show up. So Sting's wrestling the Prisoner or Nails, and it's a bad match. Nails is probably the worst professional wrestler ever. Okay, yes, the great Khali, as bad as he is, actually does know more about professional wrestling than Nails ever did. So, yeah, no stars, Sting wins. Great, because Sting should not have lost to this guy. I feel sorry for Virgil, SummerSlam 92. So I'm going to have, that means during reviews, I'm going to have to watch a Nails match, three matches of his. Because he's on 3 pay-per-views that I have a plan that I've either already reviewed, am reviewing, or plan to review. Yay. So then we get a steel cage match for the World Tag Team Championship, which might be match of the night, actually. The Hollywood Blondes versus Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas. But here's the thing. Okay, listen, I understand the storyline reason why they had Steamboat and Douglas wear masks. I understand that. They had worn these dumb Dulce Hombres outfits, to get a non-title victory over the Hollywood Blondes or something. So storyline-wise, they put him back on. But why put Ricky Steamboat under a mask at all? This is a 2-star match. You know, 4 very good ring workers. Douglas may be the king of failed gimmicks, but I don't deny he was a good in-ring worker and could work a match really good. But 4 good workers, but the whole Steamboat thing, and on top of this, they had to assemble this cage during the show. I'm kind of glad now that you hang cages above the ring, because you just have to make a lot of wasted time having to assemble cages if you were still doing that. But the Hollywood Blondes won with the stun gun on Douglas. I don't even know if Douglas was a legal man though, So then we get the NWA World Heavyweight Championship match. Yes, despite being gone from despite breaking away from the NWA in 1989, WCW still occasionally defended the NWA World Championship. Now, to be fair, this title later became unified with, became the International World Championship, which became unified with the WCW Championship by '94. So at least that served a purpose, and they finally did away with the NWA thing. But it's Barry Windham versus Arn Anderson. You can make a case for this being match of the night. It's the best pure match on this show, and 2 guys who knew how to work a match and had good history going back to the Horsemen. There's blood in this match but now I'm going to bring something up about this, because people might bring this up. WCW in the 90s had a no-blood policy, at least at this time. But this was an NWA-sanctioned match for the NWA Championship, so they were playing under NWA rules, which meant that blood was legal in NWA rules. So, yeah. Finish actually comes when Windham cracks Anderson with the title belt and scores the win. So, that leads to the main event. 2.5 stars for the Windham-Anderson match. So, then we get the WCW World Heavyweight Championship match. Vader versus the British Bulldog. It's a 3-star match. So, I think it is the best match of these 3 top things. But, you know, I personally think maybe Bulldog should have won here, but then again, Vader was on a tear. Vader was good in '93. '93 is the best year Vader had in the wrestling business in WCW. He had a title reign that lasted for the entire year, virtually, from January till December of '93. So a near year-long title reign. And he was a properly built monster at that time. Bulldog just came in. So I think WCW gave him more opportunities in '93 than the WWE did, but not too many. This doesn't even have a clear finish. So, well, it does, but it's not concrete. Vader hits Bulldog with a chair, and that gets Vader disqualified, so he keeps the title. Sting helps Bulldog, sets up the main event of Beach Blast '93, Vader and Vicious versus Sting and Bulldog. That's the matches, and that's what's going to be included in the actual show rating, is just the matches. But WCW also started WCW Hall of Fame and went for 3 Slamborees here. And they inducted Lou Fez, Mr. Wrestling 2, Verne Gagne, and Eddie Graham, and I don't really know if most of them even cared. Lou Fez probably didn't. He sure didn't look like he did. And also, Paul Roma was made a 4 Horsemen here, which made Ric Flair and Arn Anderson really mad. So those are notable things about this event. Its total stars in terms of match rating is 16 out of a possible 50. So that puts it in the D+ to C- range approximately. So it'll be somewhere along in there. The next Slam of May is going to be Beware of Dog from 1996. A very unique show, as it's a pay-per-view that took place on 2 different nights in 2 different locations, and I will explain why when I review that tomorrow night. So, I'm going to start a Slams and Made playlist. All the Slams and Made videos will be in that playlist. So if you like the video, like button is down there, subscribe button is down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.